Hello dear, welcome once again. In this video, I am going to explain the story The Last Leaf written by O. Henry.
At the end of this video, my blog address is given. You can get the detailed summary of this story.
In this story, we find three main characters, Sue, Johnsy, and an old man named Burman. These two girls have come to New York in order to make a career in fine arts. Sue and Johnsy meet at a restaurant in New York, and as their tastes are similar
And their work is same, they become friends.
and start living together in the third floor of an old building which serves as their studio as well. Mr. Burman is an old man. He lives in the ground floor of the same building where the two girls are staying, and he is an ordinary painter, though he has an ambition of coming out with a masterpiece one day. But so far, in 25 years, he has not even done anything, and the canvas, white canvas, is still waiting for that masterpiece. He works with commercial artists and makes a little bit of money in that, and sometimes he poses as a model to the poor artists who cannot afford professional models. In the month of November, pneumonia spreads across the Greenwich village. Johnsy becomes the victim of this dreaded disease. After 3-4 days, a doctor is called in, and after examining, the doctor finds that she is very ill and very weak. The doctor asks Sue whether Johnsy is in love with someone, whether she is thinking of any man.
Then Sue categorically rules out.
In her high pitch that they never think of any man. It is their opinion that thinking about a man is a waste. It is worthless. The doctor goes out, and Sue follows him. They stand in the hallway, and the doctor says that Johnsy is not ready to get well because she has become negative, pessimistic. And the doctor says that if someone is not optimistic, if he or she thinks about dying, then the medicine what they give, its effect is not even 50%. Therefore, it is now mandatory that she has to develop a positive attitude so that she can get well soon. When Sue heard this grave situation of her friend Johnsy, she becomes very sad. She goes into the workroom and she cries, she weeps. After some time, Sue thinks that it is not good to leave Johnsy alone in that room. She brings her drawing board and sets it up there because she has to draw some sketches. While she is drawing, she finds Johnsy looking out of the window and whispering 12, 11, 10. So she is counting in descending order. Sue is surprised at it. She goes near to the bed, and Sue sees that Johnsy is looking at an ivy vine which has spread on the brick wall of the opposite house.
Whenever a leaf falls down, she counts it.
That is the reason she is now telling 12, 11, 10, like that in the descending order. She is counting them. Sue is surprised at this action, and she asks why she is counting all these things. Then Johnsy gives a stunning reply that she believes that when the last leaf falls down, she will die. It was such a shocking statement for Sue. This is the height of pessimism. She has already decided that she is going to die. She is connecting her life with the falling of the leaves, which is ridiculous. So, therefore, Sue becomes a bit angry. Then Jansi says that she has overheard doctor telling that it is only 10% chance that she'll be alive. And for this, Sue says that everybody has the same chance of living. That is only 10% because whenever they go into the market, whenever they are on the road, accident can kill anybody at any time. So, in this modern world, everybody has the life risk. So, 10% is a fair one, she says. Jhansi is crazy about looking at the ivy vine and count the leaves. She wants to see the last leaf fall down. Therefore, she rather requests Sue to go and do her work in the other room. But Sue says that she would like to do the work in the same room. Then Sue requests Jhansi not to look at the vine, and she says that the work is in hand. She has committed that she would give the drawing the next day. Sue says that she would get a little money after selling those drawings, and she would be happy to bring wine for her friend and some chops of pork for herself. Then Jhansi says that there is no use of bringing wine because she is not going to live. She believes that the leaves would fall very soon and soon she will also die. Sue gets irritated by Jhansi's words. Finally, Jhansi agrees to sleep, but she puts a condition that when Sue completes her work, she should be allowed to look at the vine. She has to go down and bring Mr. Berman to pose as a model to her next drawing. When she meets the old man, she tells the fancy idea of Chauncey, and the old man is irritated by this thought and he becomes a little angry on Sue. He says that she shouldn't have allowed such devilish idea come into Chauncey's mind. But later he understands that it is none of her mistakes. When the old man and Sue come into Chauncey's room, both of them go to the window and see the ivy vine. Outside it is raining, there is a snowfall, and there is a wind. Both of them are really afraid now. In this condition, all the leaves would fall down very soon. When Jhansi sees the last leaf fallen down, she would definitely die. Therefore, they are fear struck. But they couldn't do anything at that time. The old man sits for some times and poses, and Sue continues with her hermit minor painting, and after some times the old man goes to his house. Jhansi is woken up for a long time. Hardly she sleeps for an hour, and when she gets up in the morning, she sees that Jhansi is already woken up and she is looking at the curtain, and Jhansi requests the curtain to be removed so that she could see the ivy vine. This time Sue could not do anything. Wearily she opens the shade and both of them look at the ivy vine. They see a single leaf still clinging to the ivy vine. Despite such rain, despite wind, snow, it has endured all those things and it is still alive. It is clinging to the ivy vine. It is really surprising. Jhansi says that she had expected this last leaf to fall down during the night itself because of rain and snow. Now she says that this leaf is definitely going to fall before night on the same day and she would die.
Nothing happens for a whole day.
Again, when they see the ivy vine in the twilight, still
The leaf is holding to the ivy vine.
the rain and the wind continue even that night also. So there was every danger that the last leaf would fall down. But there was a surprise. When they wake up in the morning and see the ivy vine, the last leaf is still holding to the ivy vine. This makes Jhansi to change her attitude. She is really surprised that a single leaf is struggling very hard against the strong wind and against the rain. And this inspires the girl to think positively. Now she is optimistic. She wants to draw inspiration from this leaf which is struggling to live. And if a leaf is struggling hard to live, and why shouldn't she? She too has to live. This optimism changes everything. Now Jhansi asks Sue that she wants to sit up, so she wants some pillows to be propped up, and she asks even a hand mirror so that she can see her face, and she asks for some broth, that is soup. She wants to take some soup. So these all indicate that now she is optimistic. She wants to live. The credit goes to that single leaf which struggled and held itself the whole night, and now it is still there on the wall. Jhansi now repents for her pessimistic view what she had. She thinks that she is a sinner. She shouldn't have thought of dying. After some times, Jhansi sits up and looks around. Jhansi says that now she hopes to paint her favorite Bay of Naples. So this is so very optimistic. Just after some times, the doctor visits and examines Jhansi and finds that she is better now. And when he talks to her, he comes to know that now she is optimistic. After some times, he leaves the room and Sue also follows him. They again stand at the hallway, and now he informs Sue that she is totally out of danger, that the chances of recovery are very high. Only thing she needs good food, good nourishment, and good care. That's it. And Sue is very happy to hear this. While departing, the doctor says that he is to see another patient, that is the old man, Mr. Berman, that he is attacked by pneumonia, and as he is old and the attack is very much acute, that his chance of surviving is almost nil. But in order to make him little comfortable, they want to take him to the hospital, and that's the reason now he has to go and see old Burman. And later in the afternoon, Sue goes down to Burman's house and she comes to know about the shocking death of Burman. She comes back to Jhansi and tells what she has heard and seen. She informs Johnsy that Mr. Berman died the previous day in the hospital, and the janitor who came to clean the room
found
shoes and the clothes being wet, and the lantern was still in lit condition, and the palette and the brushes were also lying, used but not cleaned, and the paints used were mainly green and yellow. These all indicate that 2 days ago the old man had come to know that the last leaf has fallen, and before Johnsy sees this, he has to do something, and he goes in the night itself taking a lantern and a paint brush, and he drags the ladder there and paints a leaf, the last leaf. It was so real, and that is the reason Johnsy and Sue believe that the last leaf is still clinging to the vine. Actually, it was not the leaf, it was the painting. And this saved the life of Johnsy. But the sad thing about this is that he risked his life to do this thing. And because of the exposure to the cold wind outside, the old man contracted pneumonia, and in 2 days he died. Such a great sacrifice, and we can consider that this is the masterpiece what the old man wanted to draw one day. He was such a good man that once he had told these two girls that one day he would make a lot of money with his masterpiece, and then he would buy a big house, and there all the three could live. This is the attitude that old man had. And now I hope that you have understood the story well. Please like the video and share it with your friends, and please be my subscriber. And wait, you can find the complete summary in my blog. This is my blog address, and when you go to my blog, select summaries of poems, and there you find a very good summary. Okay, all the best. Thank you for watching this video.